Welcome to the Demi Chateau entrance. I have thrown on my DIY clothes and we're ready for another makeover in the chateau. Because behind me, when you look to your right, you actually see a door that opens up to the so-called buanderie in French, which means utility room, washroom. It's kind of my little corner of chaos that I've been trying to tame over the time of the vlog. Some of you might remember that. But it always turns back into chaos because it's not really well designed. So I want to redesign this space, starting with this very first episode of the series, which will stretch out, I guess, over a few weeks. What we're starting off in this episode is planning out, measuring out, trying to see what we can take out of the space, looking for inspiration, looking around for things that we might enjoy in this space and how we want to use this space. So come along and I'll first show you what the space is like. Currently this space serves multiple purposes. If you look into it, you actually see all the different things that make it so chaotic because it has to serve so many things. First of all, I don't have a pantry, so I store a lot of like pantry style items here, which I would still like to store after, but maybe a bit more hidden. Then it also has my electrical main board inside. It has my gas heating system for the winter. I have my washing machine in here, and I also have a guest toilet down here, which is really practical, but I never really let guests use it because I always feel a bit ashamed. We use it, like people that I know, but even then I'll always say like, oh, you know, if you want a bit of a nicer bathroom, just like go upstairs and use my private bathroom. But it's really practical to have this toilet down here. And having this toilet down here and having a second evacuation stream that leads up in front of the chateau actually and goes down the sewer pipes was my savior for setting up the bathrooms in the second floor, because that's where I connected all of the rest. As you can see, it comes from the other side of the wall and then flows down into this here and connects with this toilet. So ultimately I would like to also cover this up a bit. First I was thinking of making almost like a second wall, but I think that's almost too much. So maybe we can find some kind of way to just hide that pipey bit. That's why I need to sit down and think about all the different purposes that this room has to serve. Eventually I also want to put up a curtain, so I think that's the easiest way to separate those two. So when I have guests, I can just close the curtain, and behind there I'll have my washing machine and all the stuff. So that's kind of it. The state of the room as it is right now. My main goal is to make it tidy and nice. To properly and accurately do this and to actually be able to draw it out so that we can see how much material we are going to need and where we are going to source it from, I need to first measure out everything. So, first of all, door opening, 75, 88. The depth of this platform, all in all, is 69. So if we do this until 170, and then the width, quite tricky with an old building like this, or I might end up having different widths for different parts of the room. It is what it is. But now, if we are going to take the same kind of corridor, then our new wall needs to be 60 wide, 60 deep, and this leaves us with 106, which is actually quite good. Let me show you some of the drawings that I made. The first one would be looking straight through the door into the back of the buanderie, and you would have the washing machine on the left hand side and the little cabinet on the right hand side. The other view shows the toilet and the sink opposing it and the new kind of fake-ish wall that we're going to put in. Still gonna think about how to do it exactly, what kind of materials to use, so that we can reuse a lot of things that we already have. Alright, I sat down and I drew out a bit. What we have is here the entrance. We have the toilet, and it's all not very super accurate, but we have the toilet. We would have a sink opposing it. we would have a curtain rod that would put a curtain and our fake wall, which I just had another idea for that actually. We would have all our cleaning appliances, everything that's cleaning. We would build something also for here, like hanging things. Like it's very, very simple, nothing like build. Then we could still try to see if we can find armoire or some sort of thing as a pantry that we could put on the other side of this wall. And then we would have the washing machine, the chest of drawers, and the gas boiler obviously, and next to it a bit of shelving. And then we could still try to see if we want that like shelving in L shape maybe, if that's helpful or if it's not. And then now I just thought, like, what if I look for basically 2 armoires, because then we could put a sink inside of it on one side, and on the other side we would face it with another one, and the other one would serve as storage. I got another idea where I thought, like, you know how the shelves on top of the Bionderie went, like this was the inspo picture, so like this, so the shelving here. I thought, like, maybe we won't do shelving there and we'll have enough space to put like everything for washing, for laundry and stuff on top of the cabinet. And maybe it's even smarter to put the dryer there and get rid of the dryer, because the dryer's in the first floor, so I could just put things from the washing machine into the dryer. That would actually be maybe quite a smart move, to just do the whole thing and then put the dryer on top. Now that gets me thinking. I wanted to go into the barn and take you with me, because I still have one more thing there that we might be able to turn into a stand for a basin. So like this, we could actually have a curtain going all the way through, and we just need the stand for the basin. We'll see. You see that one back there? That's another project waiting for us. That's upholstering. But yeah, I wanted to see how wide this one is. So this one's 90. I'm not sure if 90 is almost too much. This barn, I wish I could have the funds to do it, but oh well. This year is all about clearing it out, so I'd be already happy if by the end of this year I'm standing in here and there's nothing in. Then you guys can really congratulate me. But yeah, I think if we do 90, ooh, that's a lot. This won't be here, and we could still push it a bit towards the loo. I don't know, but I'm almost afraid that it's gonna be too narrow of a space. This space is what, 75, and I can walk comfortably. This is going to be 90. 90 is kind of the center of me. Well, it's 70. And if we do some kind of smart thing here, this would allow us for a bit more depth here. That's why I wanted to start planning it, so that I sort of have a rough idea on where everything needs to be going. So I wanted to show you some of my inspiration pictures, because I've been looking at stuff on Pinterest and I've been saving a few things, and this is what I talked about, of stacking the 2 appliances. And I also found like other pictures that kind of resemble to the vibe I was looking for. But then I found this picture and I absolutely adore the color of it. It's just the perfect color for this makeover. We're in the Chateau garage right now, and this is where my car is parked, where my bikes are. Quite a bit of rust on this. Maybe I should clean it. Going off topic. We are here because I store all my paint in this wardrobe, and I actually still have some paint that I haven't used, but that I bought back then for the renovation. I wasn't sure, it's like a light blue. I'm thinking, let's go check if this still exists. There it is. It's a very light blue, as you can see. Kind of the same style of colors that we've used for most of the renovation. I think if I had a bit more money, I would have gone for little green, because I bought little green paint for the shutters and the new door that's coming soon. Oh, I can't wait. And I'm really impressed. It was the first time that I worked with little green. I had painted all the apartment of my ex-husband and me in Düsseldorf in Ferro and Ball paint, and I absolutely adored Ferro and Ball, but it's the price point that is just like, yikes, you know, especially if you have huge rooms. These are like good paints, good quality, but cheaper if you live in Germany. You can't really find them here in France, so that's why I'm thinking for future projects I will probably splurge and actually get some little green paint. So what I want to try is, I just opened it up and I want to try a patch over there and maybe next to the toilet to see how I like it. And so this way we can decide whether this would be a color that we could think of actually using or not. I have to say that I really like it. It almost resembles a bit the shutter colors. So this brings kind of the outside in, and I think it's a good color. You know, I love usually to make small spaces dark, but I think with this kind of space it could actually be nice to have some kind of more like cute positive color and make it into something a bit more like pastel-like. Especially if with the dark hallway, it would be a nice contrast. I think that's the color we want to go with. So now, after planning all of this, the next stage would be the demolition, which I can't do as of right now because I still have guests coming in and out in the next couple of weeks, and there's just a lot going on with the dance festival. So this will have to wait, but I think we've got a really good plan and we've got our eyes set out on all the different elements that we need to buy, that we need to source. We need to find an armoire or something kind of like a shelf. I'll keep my eyes open once I'm in the balcons and going around. We don't want something that is too wide, so that we'll have a nice passage through to the back of the room. And we'll just need to source MDF, because that's what I want to build most of the stuff from, most of the casing especially. Once we have all of those components together, we can start demolishing it and then setting it all back up again. Step by step. Thank you so much for joining in on this first step towards a new utility room for the Chateau. We're going to continue with this makeover series in August. Until then, there will be other videos coming out, so please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you'll get notified each time I upload a video. And yeah, thank you so much for joining in, for being part of this wonderful community of people who love all the things. And I shall see you next week. Until then, all that's left to say is à bientôt et au revoir from the southwest of France. Bisous! Bye!